Hey guys, welcome back to Medicine Academy and thanks for watching. In this video what we're going to do is cover some of the qualities and characteristics that you want your personal statement to convey. Things that the admissions tutors are looking for, and when they see them they're going to be ticking their boxes and they're going to know that you're the right candidate. So let's get cracking. Compassion. Being a doctor is not just about knowing everything in the books. It's also about being a caring person. After all, when you're a doctor, you're going to be caring for people. So the admissions tutors are going to be looking for people who, have that caring side to them. People who've done that voluntary work at the old folks' home, or, people who took care of that relative when they broke their leg. Things like that. So give examples to demonstrate that you are that compassionate person that they're looking for. Communication skills. Can you talk to other people? Of course you can. Can you talk to people of different social backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, different ages, people twice your age, people half your age? If you can, that's awesome. That's part of being a good doctor. You want to demonstrate to the admissions tutors that you can tailor your communication to different people, and importantly, that they can understand you. I know that sounds really difficult, but if you start talking about your work experience at, the old folks' home, and, your volunteering work with those disadvantaged children, underlying that, you're demonstrating that, you are able to talk to those other people, and that's really good. Your communication skills are really going to be assessed at that interview, where the panel are going to be asking you questions, and you're going to be under a lot more pressure. But, that's going to be for another video. Listening skills and empathy. I really could have included these in the communication skills side of thing, but I purposefully made a separate section for them, and I think you'll appreciate why. By listening, I mean hearing other people and understanding what they mean. That means also reading between the lines, not just taking things literally. And by empathy, I mean, understanding how people feel. And these are key traits in being a doctor. I don't expect you to, be the best listener or have the best empathy skills right now, but there's something that you're going to be developing, as you do your medical career. I can appreciate it's really difficult to demonstrate these in your personal statement. So, an alternative way of demonstrating your understanding of the importance of these skills is maybe talking about your work experience, where you sat in clinic with your consultant and you noticed a patient from another background came in, and the patient may have been quite difficult to understand, may have been from another country, and English wasn't their first language, but you noticed that the consultant picked up on really subtle cues that were key to the diagnosis, and from that you gained an appreciation of listening skills and empathy. Not only does that demonstrate that you know that these skills are important, but it also demonstrates an insight into what it is about being a doctor. Working in a team. Can you work with other people, or are you one of those people who just want to do it all on their own? When you're a doctor, you have to work with loads of other people. No one person can do it all on their own. A key phrase is multidisciplinary team. I'll say it one more time. Multidisciplinary team. That's a key word, and if you drop it in your personal statement or your interview, you're scoring big marks. So what do I mean by this word? Well, I mean the physiotherapist, the GP, the occupational therapist, the psychiatrist, the psychologist, the nurses, everyone. There's loads of different people involved in the care of a patient, and you have to be able to work with them. People of different backgrounds and different specialities. So if you can show the admissions tutor that you've been on X, Y, and Z team, and that went really well, that shows that you can work in a team, and they're going to like that. Leadership. Guys, after you've qualified as a doctor, and you've been a doctor for some years, you're going to be the most senior person on the ward, okay? That means the other people on the team, the multidisciplinary team, are going to look up to you. And you're going to have to lead them. And you need the skills to be able to lead them. Your admissions tutors are on the lookout for people who've had some level of experience in leadership. So I think it would be really important to demonstrate leadership in one way or another. Keep it simple. Maybe something like you were the captain of the netball team. Being committed. Medicine is a 5 or 6 year course, depending on where you're doing it. And what the admissions tutors are looking for are people who are going to be lasting throughout those 5 or 6 years. And people who are actually going to stick by and become a doctor at the end of it. So you get your degree, they want to see whether you're going to sort of, follow through. And to do this, there are 2 things you can do. 2 things that I can think of that you can do. Firstly, you can talk about one of your hobbies which you've done for the last 5 or 10 years. You play the saxophone for 10 years and you're part of this orchestra. And the other thing that you can do is demonstrate your enthusiasm and interest for medicine. If you really love science and medicine and everything that it stands for, and you bring that across in your personal statement, the admissions tutors will, they'll recognise that, and then they're going to pick you. Enthusiasm and interest. I'm going to keep this section really short because this really ties in with the commitment side of things. But essentially, what you want to show the admissions tutor is that you are going to follow through in the course and that you are going to really enjoy yourself. So the way to do this is, when you're talking about your work experience, really convey that interest. Talk about that angiogram that you thought it was fascinating, or talk about that journal that you read about neonatal medicine. Anything to show the admissions tutor that you really are interested in the subject and you don't just want the title doctor at the end of it. Insight. By insight, in this context, I mean an understanding of what it means to be a doctor. And I could really go on about this all day, really, but what I want you to take away from this is that insight is really a buzzword in medicine these days. You should drop it in your personal statement, and you should back that word up with something you learned from your work experience. And I'll give you some examples. You can demonstrate an insight into the importance of confidentiality, the importance of maintaining trust with the patient, the importance of working in a multidisciplinary team, and perhaps the importance of appreciating the hard work involved in being a doctor. So if you want to learn more about insight, what I'd suggest is you go away and type up General Medical Council and search for the Good Medical Practice Guidelines. Have a read of them, if you've got time. I know you're studying for your exams. And, maybe take something away from that. Because if in the interview you bring up the Good Medical Practice Guidelines and you have a chat about them, the admissions tutors are going to love you. They really are, and they're going to pick you. So that's just something to think about.